Week 4, episode 4.
Here we are.
Hello. So, let's start with the good news.
We're here.
Phil's boy,
My boy, John Morrison.
Johnny Next.
Johnny Next.
The founding member of the world's greatest Survivor Series.
Yes,
team.
correct. Ms. Morrison. My boy is back.
Do you know the problem? Do you know the problem with that joke? There is that relies on people listening to the podcast to understand the joke.
So,
You need to go back and listen to episode 2.
no, I'll summarise it. Me, Liam, and Phil each came up with our best Survivor Series teams of all time that we made ourselves.
Yep.
Me and Liam came up with 2 reasonably strong teams, and then Phil came up with a car crash team of Miz, Morrison, Jericho, which is,
To be fair,
the
Jericho's
only
a
saving
great
grace in
choice,
it, though.
Yeah.
Bret Hart. And who was my last one?
Your team, mate.
I don't know. It was Maz. Clearly, he got eliminated first.
The gobbledygooker, I think, by how bad it was.
Chances are it probably was, but
Hector Guerrero.
he probably was that bad that he'll have been eliminated first because I've already forgot about him.
Yes.
Either way, Phil made the shittest Survivor Series team ever.
Of the, when he had
In history.
the whole world to pick
So yeah, John Morrison signed a multi-year deal with WWE.
I'm very happy about this.
And
But it was a bit of a letdown how it was like. I think because it was spoke about a while back that he might be signing, and then it went dead. And if he'd have just turned up in 2 weeks' time, I'd have lost my shit.
Don't you find that they've done this twice now within a space of a couple of weeks? So it was like CM Punk showed up on backstage, which was like a nice surprise, but it's.
But that was a letdown.
Yeah,
and now they're doing
big.
it with John Morrison. It's like, are they trying? Do you reckon they're trying to go? You know what? We need to do something for backstage to make backstage decent. So it's gonna be that place where you might watch it now and think you don't have a fucking clue what's gonna happen from week to week because if they're announcing signings and comebacks it's shit though.
They couldn't do that on a regular basis because what are they gonna announce?
Because when John
Holly
Morrison
in 3 weeks time
does show up, it's going to be like meh. When CM Punk eventually shows up now, it's going to be like meh.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's you're back. Well, we
already
knew this
knew.
back in December 2019.
So
I don't think there was I honestly, apart from the shock element that the Rumble, that would have been brilliant for him to come back because Mystery entering number 6 or something.
Thing is,
has a good little run in the Rumble. He does his spot where he does his little parkour things.
Yeah.
Brilliant. End of the day, he's back. That's how a few of them have come back.
And then he'd have the name Johnny Rumble.
Johnny Rumble, of
Going
course.
forward,
Yeah.
So that's going into my next question. Johnny Rumble.
As in what?
Where do you think he's going to go? SmackDown, Raw, NXT?
I'd love to see him in NXT.
Because obviously you could call him Johnny Next.
Of course we can.
I know they're not good. It's going to be John Morrison, isn't it? But
Johnny Topman.
So what? I want to see him in NXT.
I'd love to see him there. I think there's so many feuds he could have.
Yeah.
Heel or babyface, that would be awesome.
I think he'll end up on Raw though.
Out of the top 2, and there's still the top 2 in Vince's mind, so I don't care what anyone says.
No, you're right.
I think he'd do better in SmackDown. I think there's better wrestlers there that he could I think him and Chad Gable.
We're not calling him that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That could be a brilliant match.
But do you not think Raw needs stars? And John Morrison, whether you like him or not, is a bit of a star.
He is now.
Not with Seth Rollins, eh?
You're getting a dig in there.
No.
Oh, Seth.
I love to
I mean, to be
digging
honest,
their Becky.
when John Morrison left in 2011, that's when it was.
Was it?
Trust me, I counted
been
the
crying.
days.
When he left on the 4th of July 2011 at 7:30 p.m.
I haven't stopped crying.
I love Johnny. But you got figures of him and everything.
I have, and I've got a signed picture by him, which Andrew bought me.
Do you
Thank you very much.
really? Is that true?
Andy bought me a signed picture.
That's what friends are for.
Top friend, absolute top
Absolute
friend.
best mates
My
and everything.
birthday's in 2 weeks tomorrow, by the way.
His favourite wrestler is Shawn Michaels.
His favourite wrestler is The Miz.
Yeah,
can-
just so you know, that's actually true. That 2 weeks tomorrow is my 34th birthday.
Really?
I can
Yeah,
2 weeks tomorrow.
2 weeks tomorrow.
by that time I can probably get a signed picture of Glacier. Is that right for you?
Fucking love Glacier.
Right, son. I'll make it happen.
I'm thinking of having beers here on the Friday night, so be free. Be free.
I'll be
What?
here, mate.
What date's that?
20th.
I did have plans, but
Nah,
I don't
Top
anymore.
man. So,
sorry, Liam. Before we go on,
yep.
because I know you want. I know we are wanting
Because
to
your
skip
birthday's not important for
No,
you.
no, it's John Morrison is the most
Johnny
important
Morrison,
thing.
Look, as soon as
been good 7 years.
it
8
was
years.
announced he was coming,
Get it right.
I spaffed me lord. That was I was double hot dogging.
Johnny's back.
Double hot dog, that's a thing now, isn't it?
I'm telling you, it's been like I said. He left in 2011. I think I said it was. Yeah, definitely 2011.
Pretending that he doesn't know.
Yeah. In ring, fantastic. You know, yeah, he is a bit of a spot fest, but
A bit.
Yeah, but he's entertaining.
He's got the shittest name for a finisher, though. What's it called? Starship Pain or something?
Starship Enterprise.
No,
Is
it's Star
Yeah,
Trek.
Starship Pain. Yeah,
Yeah, Starship Pain.
someone does the Starship Enterprise though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a shit name.
it is terrible. But then he reverted to the running knee, didn't he?
And he wears like fairy boots, doesn't he?
Because he's awesome, mate. You know, he wore Uggs before they were popular.
Anyway,
He made Uggs.
So,
The point I'm trying to get across.
don't worry, I'm not going to stop talking about John Morrison. I've got 2 more questions about John Morrison. Fucking hell. You carry on, Philip.
Before you
Skip
try
to
move on.
47 minutes for Phil to stop talking about
John Morrison. Fuck me.
Johnny.
It's like you and the Young
Smackdown.
Bucks.
What?
God,
Tarquin and his Young Bucks.
he loved the Young Bucks,
He loved
Tarquin.
Bucking
Anyway,
names, sorry.
let Phil just have a couple of minutes of...
I don't normally try to get over everyone, but this time I
we
really
know,
need
But
to.
you'd love to get over
John Morrison.
Johnny.
Yeah, I love old John Morrison,
Johnny Under.
Johnny Mundo. But anyway, as I was saying,
Sorry,
you know,
mate.
he left in 2011.
I'll just put the
Pack
mic.
of cunts, honest to
Yeah,
God.
let's put the mics down.
2011, he left. Put your bag down. Right, in ring, he was. I think he's a spot fest, but I really enjoyed everything at his entrance. He had the music, you know.
Because that's a novel as fuck.
What, a wrestler with entrance theme?
Groundbreaking.
But
Do you have pyro as well?
he did
In a video.
and slow motion.
That's how good WWE was back in the day. Johnny Nitro had fucking pyro. What do we call him now? John Morrison.
John Morrison.
Why was he called Johnny Nitro?
Because he went to Monday Night Nitro, was it?
No. Hang on, you're like Johnny Mundo's
No.
#1 fan. You should
He's
know all this.
pretending he doesn't know. He's just.
What was he called in Lucha Underground?
Johnny Mundo.
Okay.
But anyway,
Continue.
as a the librarian gimmick. The one thing I think
do with
that
a
was
nap.
missing from Johnny Morrison was his.
Charisma. This whole podcast is just going to be him going, you know, that old man granddad laugh, where like, fucking hell.
3 hours later.
You must have got laid last night. I've never seen you this fucking cheerful. I know. Fucking hell. It's either got laid or
Johnny Morrison.
Your missus is gonna fucking hate him. Hey,
She's gonna love it when I get home.
you're gonna call her Johnny mid-session. Oh, Johnny.
What the fuck's Johnny?
Tara thought he'd show you who Johnny is.
I'll show you who Nitro is.
The one thing he always had missing from his promos were, like, man, they were horrendous.
Did you got promos like?
I tried.
Oh, okay.
Well, like I said, I try to do a podcast, and I'm the worst out of the three of us.
No, you've
Yeah, no,
been
I am.
fairly entertaining so far.
yeah. I'm making a name for myself tonight with Johnny Nitro. But yeah, I mean that's the one thing he had missing from. But he went to Lucha, he went the Indies, he's gone to
Impact.
And
Johnny Impact.
he's done really well, and you can tell he's progressing as a star. And I think the overall factor was he was always going to come back to the WWE regardless.
I think so.
And I mean, if he'd gone to AEW, you know, I'd been happy either way. But I think
Liam wouldn't have.
I'm not saying anything yet.
yeah, he's storing that hatred.
Wins and
You're
losses.
like a smack addict.
But yeah,
Chomping at the bit.
I think that was always the intention. He needed to break away because I think he'd been with the WWE for a good 5 or 6 years.
Is that it?
Yeah, he hadn't
that
been there
all?
that long.
So you needed a break.
He
I
needed
thought you said it was 2011, and that's...
That's when he left.
no, that's when he left. But he'd been with them.
He'd
About,
been with them.
Oh, I'd been with them.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So you know, I think he's done what he needed to do. He's going to come back, and you know he's going to drift around the mid card.
So he's 39 years old. Do you think?
And he still looks about 29.
Yeah, he still looks mint. Do you think he's coming back full time, or do you
No.
think he's got the leverage to kind of say, you know what, because of AEW, because they're paying people like the Revival, like apparently rumored is like $500,000 each. Like the
Really?
fucking Revival, they are mint. They're the best tag team in the world.
But then not... There's
But they're not big
much
names.
value in paying
Exactly.
them that other than to keep them away.
Exactly. So, you know, John Morrison, he's been away for a long time, so he's got a bit of a name. So you can't argue that he's a bit of a free agent catch. So he might not. But what my point is, do you reckon he's been able to negotiate
A better
a
deal.
better deal in terms
Yeah.
of dates and money? So my next question is, well, they're kind of linked. Will he be full time, and do you think that he'll continue with his outside projects like his acting and things that he's been trying to do? Because he made that Dog the Bounty Hunter
Yeah.
or some shitty film, didn't he? Is it not? Something the bounty. He made a Bounty
Hercules,
Hunter
I think it
film.
was.
It's not a series. Talked about him.
No, yeah, it might be. I might be getting
I think-
confused.
I
But he
think-
did
I
a
th-
Bounty Hunter type
Okay.
film anyway, which was low budget,
Oh, it was
self-funded. Apparently, he sold his house
Really?
to fund that
To do
movie.
that?
Yeah, it was. He said that on the Stone Cold podcast. So yeah, do you think he's coming back full time? And if he isn't, do you think he's going to continue his outside projects? Because like Dolph Ziggler has some, doesn't he? Like
Stand-up comedian.
yeah.
Not as funny as me.
After tonight, mate, you know,
You were
the
fucking-
you were the standout.
Tremendous tonight. I can't wait to have a Kit Kat tomorrow.
You'd just be thinking about Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah. As you
I mean,
swallow
me,
that chunky.
I'd be happy for him to come back part time. You know,
I think this is where you fit in NXT better.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously
I agree.
with that roster. But I'd like when prior to Mysterio coming back, when we had seen him in wait for it, WCPW. Like I thought he was past it then. Like he was botching all over, and so I was surprised when he came back to WWE, and I'm surprised that he's back to what he was.
Do you know what that was though? House show. That's the way. That was probably the mentality.
Yeah, maybe so. But like, I still, yeah. Whether he can come back and do it full time or not, he's a very athletic person, but obviously to have that kind of amount of agility that he needs at his age, like 39, like I'm 37 and I'm nowhere near as agile as I was. Like
I'd have had you down at 32.
I couldn't jog to the ring, let alone run.
thanks, sexy
Sexy boy.
boy time.
Eat your heart out,
Are
girls.
we done talking with John Morrison?
Well,
me and you are.
Yeah.
well, I could talk all night, but you know,
Yeah, well-
we do need to move on.
Yeah. So, Dio Maden gets F5 back to NXT.
Yeah.
Do you like that? So you got F5, we haven't seen him for a while, and I've said F5 back to NXT. I think it's quite a...
Refreshed back to NXT.
Yeah.
I should,
Control and
I
R.
should do a
If you were a
stand-up
wrestler, that's what
routine.
your finisher could be called. Control and R.
controlling that.
That's a
Replace.
refresh.
I thought that was replace.
Nope.
Is it?
Might be in Excel, but it's not in a browser.
It is in Primavera. FYI.
Yeah. So he was pretty shit on
Yeah. I
commentary.
mean, the whole Raw team was. I thought it was a bit average. Like Lawler was there to kind of bring the other two guys on, but
Yeah.
Lawler was probably the worst person to do that. Like he was there as a name to add a bit of prestige, but I think living in the age that we're in now, everyone knows how much of a prick
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler is.
So, what I thought with this Dio Madden thing, do you think he's legit gone to WWE and said, "Look, I want to be a wrestler. Send me back to NXT to train," or do you
Yes.
think he was that shit on commentary, the saving face a little bit by saying, "Right, we'll take you off commentary, and we're going to pretend you're going back to NXT or the Performance Center to be a wrestler." So they're not like going, "You're shit. We're taking you off commentary."
So I probably get the feeling that he knows his shit, and he said, "I want to be a wrestler because I
Yeah.
can't do this."
But the thing is, he looks good. He's big. He's an ex-football player. He's got everything that you need to be successful in the ring.
when he stood up against Brock, like I was like, all right, that makes sense. Like he's a
big
big
dude,
guy.
yeah.
Like all right, he's not as big as Brock, so it would be good to have a big guy like that on the commentary team, like Samoa Joe, for example.
yeah.
Which, like, on him, I'm not surprised how great he is.
Samoa Joe's brilliant.
Well, that was leading into my next question, so we might as well skip over Dio Madden because he's boring as fuck.
Yeah. Both
So-
in the ring.
Yeah, so they've announced Samoa Joe is going to be on commentary full time until his thumb's better.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, he's got a bad thumb. Of all the things to have, it's a bad thumb.
Yeah, but-
Surely you could tape it up and carry
No,
on. So do you think?
But if you'd done that, it's a thing that would never get
Yeah,
better. And
but-
in terms of maintaining the safety of
Yeah,
wrestlers,
I get
I
that.
reckon a thumb's probably pretty
Yeah.
vital.
And as well, how many injuries has Samoa Joe had? Like he's been pretty
Well,
much
over the years. Wow.
since he's been in WWE, he's been injured quite a lot.
Yeah.
So do you think the Taz in him, where they're going to say, "Look, you're in rings"?
No,
Do you not think?
I don't think so.
I do. I get that feeling that they are Tazing him because it's like, you're coming at the end of your career because he's quite old, isn't he?
Oh, he's well into his
Yeah, but he
40s
can
now,
still
isn't he?
wrestle.
But he can
Oh,
still-
God,
he
absolutely.
can still go.
Taz could have, but I just think they're saying to him, "Look,
I don't think
we could get you on this, and you can prolong your career in terms of, or maybe he does a Jerry Lawler and commentates 90% of the time, and then comes in every now and again. I don't know.
what and fights
Michael
Michael
Cole.
Cole at WrestleMania.
That would be mint. I would love to see.
The squash match.
That would be Michael Cole against Samoa Joe. That would be amazing. Anyway, moving on.
So I don't think that. I think that he'll be back wrestling in
I hope so.
by Mania, hopefully. But yeah,
I hope so. I hope he's back. I hope he comes back for the Rumble.
I do, but until then, I'm happy to see him on commentary.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Keep involved.
he's been
It's
brilliant.
good. And he snuck in a sneaky Simpsons
Did he?
reference in there.
And I tell you what he is.
Big fan.
He's not a fucking dick as well. Do you know?
What, he doesn't love John Morrison?
No, he says he's not a dick. He's no Corey Graves.
Oh, yeah, well, yes. This is an accurate statement. He's not that much of a dick. Nobody is.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, Mauro Ranello. Ranello returned to NXT last
Did he
night.
return?
He returned,
I heard
and
that he was there. I
yeah,
didn't know that
he
done
came back, and there's a video on the interwebs of him coming out, and Full Sail gave him coming out of the closet.
Hello.
Full Sail gave him an absolute amazing standing. You know, it was like it
Just
was
what he
nice to see.
needed, I assume.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. So he's back. I imagine he was probably going to be on top form because he's. I don't care what anyone says. He's the best commentator in wrestling. Name me a better commentator than Mauro in
Nigel
wrestling.
McGuinness.
Ooh, that's a good one. No, but I'd go Mauro. Them two
Yeah.
together.
Better, maybe not, but like
Different.
on par.
Yeah.
I was going to say if you put them both together, I think they'd clash.
I think with Nigel's class, but if you
Sounding
put
like Corey Graves, then no fuck off.
yeah, because Mauro is so like loud and out there and just goes mental. Nigel's dead quiet and chilled out and just
But knowledgeable.
yeah.
And,
So I
you
think
know,
Nigel
valid
on his
points.
own is class, but I think he'd be boring. But if you put him with Ranello, who goes fucking mental, and then you've got Nigel who's just like chilled out and says as it is,
See, I
knowledgeable.
think they work well. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Absolutely class.
opposites.
But
attracting.
I think it's class that he's back.
I'm happy
I
he's
do.
back.
You know,
I've always liked him.
Yeah, I do. I think, we've talked about it previously, but I do think like it's good that he's back, and he hasn't done what he did with SmackDown. Where he disappeared for fucking ages and then quit and then came back to NXT. I'm glad he's it's only took him a couple of weeks, to get himself back up and back working, which I think is a good thing for him. Broken Skull Sessions have announced, Stone Cold and Goldberg have announced that.
It was a bit cryptical, really, wasn't it? Because he just said who's next.
Yeah.
But everyone leads up to say it's Goldberg.
So Goldberg is going to be the next guest on Broken Skull Sessions. I'm assuming.
it's gonna
yeah,
be
we are. Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler next.
Maybe. I'm assuming it's going to be this month.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be a monthly
After
thing,
the
isn't
next
it?
pay-per-view, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what?
I don't know.
So what was it now? Is it TLC this?
TLC next.
TLC
isn't
is
it?
next.
Is that in 2 weeks?
I think that's a bit soon for another. But anyway, I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be good to see Goldberg. I don't think Goldberg's done any. I know he's done podcasts and stuff, but he's not done anything on the network like this. I think
No.
it'll be quite good because with the one with the Undertaker, it seemed very much like we're not in character. We're just doing this as a.
But Goldberg hasn't really got a character, does he?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be like spitting fire and shit. I think he's going to be chilled out. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the thing with Goldberg is like, I think when he was with WCW, the sort of like it's like the sort of fed shit to him sort of things to say, you're the best thing, and it got to the point where it became he actually started believing that everyone underneath him was dog shit compared to him, and like he was the reason why they were in a job for some reason. I think that's why Regal took exception to that, and he was saying,
Yeah.
this is
War Games.
yeah,
War Games.
I think Regal sort of put him in his place in that match, and he was like, "Say, look,
And
without
also-
people like us, you wouldn't be in this job."
And it also goes to prove how hard as fuck William Regal must be.
It was,
to-
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely schooled Goldberg in that
William.
match.
I think it'll be a good interview though.
Yeah, I
think-
completely agree.
Because what I gather from listening to Stone Cold podcast, Goldberg and Stone Cold are like actually good friends in real life. So I think it'll be
'Cause
quite
they've
a good.
got the same haircut. Is that how it works?
And they borrowed each other's black trunks,
And black boots,
black boots. Anyway,
cool heel.
So yeah, good. It'd be a good interview.
Was that a big reference?
So,
Cool heel.
Daddy
Tomasa.
Tomasa
Oh, sorry, I
Ciampa.
thought we were being sexy there.
No,
We're not starting
no.
that yet.
There's no more sexy boy tonight. So Tommaso Ciampa has said that if he would be moved to Raw, SmackDown, he threatened that he would retire, and his basis of this was the fact that he's had so many injuries that if he done 200 Raw or SmackDown shows in a year, which is reasonable, he'd only have about a year left. But with NXT, he does about 40, 50 shows a year. So the big question is, this is two questions. Was he right to make the threat? And the second question is, would you prefer 3 or 4 years of Ciampa on NXT or a 6 to 12 month run on Raw, SmackDown?
So first and foremost, if it was a genuine threat for genuine reasons, yes, he was right. He knows his body better.
Yeah.
He knows his limitations, and the longer I can have Ciampa in my life,
Oh,
the better.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to see him every week, but if he's like still popping up
Yeah.
here and there, like it's like if he stopped being a wrestler, he could still be a great
Yeah.
manager. Like it'd still be like great whatever he did, because he just gets wrestling.
yeah. Of course,
And
he's got that aura about him that, just to say, don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Or we'll be going into War Games.
I tell you what he needs to stop doing though is fucking jumping off cages.
Yeah.
He goes
Well,
on-
there you go.
do you know what I mean?
Save yourself another 6 months.
Yeah, he did not need to do shit like that, like he did at.
War Games.
We'll bring we'll bring the soundboard next week.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get us.
So Phil brought the cable this week, so I would like to congratulate Phil on.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying your free pint. by the way.
I'm really enjoying my free pint. It's
but
been very satisfying.
Yeah.
The letdown this week is
It doesn't work.
Technology. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Though I'd rather see him
Williams
have
at
3 to
letdown.
4 years on NXT than it, because you'll get better matches out of him on NXT.
Yes,
Absolutely
But don't
as well.
get me wrong. The 6 to
Okay.
12 months that he could have in Raw could be awesome as well.
But what Andy
I
always
don't
says
think it will
though,
be.
what you always say, isn't it? Like if a match happens on a WWE show and a non NXT show, no matter who you put in the ring, it's
it's
gonna
limited. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like it's
Yeah.
like it's got a fairly it's got a decent ceiling, but like
yeah.
NXT's got a much
Yeah,
higher ceiling.
if we saw AJ Styles versus Nakamura, which we did at Mania, it was shit.
Yeah.
We see that on NXT Takeover. It's
Fantastic.
fucking match of the year candidate, no doubt about it. Nakamura and Sami Zayn had the best match that year in Dallas,
Yep.
and do you know what I mean? Like them two have never had a match anywhere close
No.
on the so-called main roster.
Yep.
So I'd rather see Ciampa, because I still think Ciampa's got a lot to do in NXT.
Agreed.
He's got Adam Cole, Balor's back. Keith Lee now is an absolute boy. You know, he could even wrestle generic wrestler number 2. You know, and it would still be decent.
Yeah.
You know,
I-
Velveteen
I-
Dream, people seem to be forgetting about because he's injured.
But
He's injured.
but like he's classic. But I think if he went up on the main roster, he'd
You get lost.
get lost.
Yeah.
He would be the
He-
next
do you
No
think-
Way Jose. And I know that you were a big fan of No Way Jose, but that's
Do you think as soon as Triple H takes over, Raw and SmackDown will get better?
Oh, without a doubt. I honestly do think it's Vince dragging
Do you know what?
everything down.
Do you know what I find so funny? Like, people used to hate Triple H, didn't they? As soon as he's
Mr.
like,
Shovel.
now he's like the darling of the internet
NXT,
world, isn't he?
yeah.
Because NXT is so good. But when you look at the team he's got there, you've got him, Triple H, Road Dogg, Albert, Matt Bourne, whatever the fuck he's called these
Regal.
days, Regal, what's that guy? That's
Robbie
Sarah.
Brookside.
Robbie
Yeah.
Brookside, Norman Smiley.
Yeah.
What's that?
Finney's there
Sarah.
as well now?
Probably.
Oh no, I think Finney's on the main roster, but
But the team he's got.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he's got a
fantastic.
class team. Right
Yeah.
now. But like equally, he's employed all them. So like, so as good as they all are, they're there because of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think it is? I think before I think Vince must have said, "Oh, Triple H said in about 2 years you'll have NXT run by yourself," sort of thing. So he was like, "Right, I'm going to bury every fucker I can, right? So I get all the heat. I go to NXT and I make it the best thing ever, and then everyone's going to be saying to me, oh, when Vince retires, we can't wait for you to take over. Then he'll bury every cunt again, and he'll be king of the universe."
WWE, they don't think that far ahead.
Yeah.
Triple H does though.
That's a
Yeah.
valid point, that name.
Yeah. So anyway, Triple H will lead into this next point.
Yeah.
Last week, NXT beat AEW in the ratings for the first time and only time. Now this week's has come out. So last week, which was Thanksgiving week, so Thanksgiving was on Thursday. Obviously, these shows aired on a Wednesday. NXT drew 810,000 viewers. AEW 663,000.
Which was a massive drop, wasn't
Massive drop.
Yeah.
AEW won the 18 to 49 demo, 0.26
So-
to 0.24.
So when you said the 18 to 49 demographic, what is the like that's a pretty wide.
that is a big
demographic.
jump. Yeah, it was
So-
basically anyone in between the age of 18 and 49.
So pretty much anyone
It was-
our age.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know what I think it is? I think that's all come on the back of War Games. So War Games was a hit for a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Well-
so they're probably, yes, you're going to spaff your load about it, but
Well, I was just thinking about all coming on the back of William Regal. Sorry.
but
War Games.
War Games.
we've come from War Games, which was, it was a success. It was a brilliant pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I do think that people were interested to see what was going to progress from what they saw from that pay-per-view.
Possibly, and maybe people. The fact that NXT won Survivor Series, there might have been an element of that, and then people had watched it. But like, I think going back to what you guys were saying about if Triple H came on the main roster and changed it, I don't think he would, because I don't think the shareholders would allow him, because what's there on the main roster now works for what there is, and if it's not broken, don't fix
Well-
it. We criticize it a lot, but we still watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you look at what Triple H is doing with NXT, he's drawing 800,000 roughly. Raw and SmackDown are still generating 2.2 million.
Yeah.
So like we just said there, NXT and AEW are giving the hardcore wrestling fans, and I say this about, say, craft beer, if you're immersed in that world of wrestling, and obviously craft beer because I've got the bar, you're immersed in that world, so when something bad happens, you know about it. But if you're not immersed in that world, you don't really give a fuck. Do you know, you watch wrestling,
Yeah,
just,
it's true.
you'll put Raw on a Monday night because you've probably done it for the last 20 years.
It's a routine.
Yeah, and like you won't take it serious. You'll watch it and be like, all right. It's like you'll probably get some Coronation Street fans who analyze it to fucking death, and we don't watch it. We watch it once in a blue moon, and we're like, yeah, all right, it is what it is, and we move on.
Yeah.
imagine if there is a podcast on Coronation Street.
I think we should start one, if not. But anyway, in an update, this week's ratings have come out.
I've got a point to this after you say this.
What?
About no, not
Streets?
Coronation Street. This week's ratings.
Right, yeah, all right.
Yep.
So this week's ratings, AEW won 851,000 to NXT's 845. One thing I want to say,
Street got.
Yeah. I don't know. So yes, AEW won, no doubt about that.
But it was a
But
massive, it was a massive jump for them.
Would you consider 6,000 viewers different? Yes, it's a win. No doubt about it. It's a win.
I'd say it's evens.
That's it. Is it one of those where it's
Yeah,
like,
of course it is. I mean, like how they can measure that is fairly kind of subjective because they don't know how many people will watch it on any one TV at a time and
That's
stuff
it.
like that. Like 6,000 with the kind of grey area that could be in there is literally the square root of fuck all. Like it's even, and as a wrestling fan, they are, the fact that them two are competing each other, which I think in terms of for wrestling, like it's a good thing that they are competing against each other, because I think it raises the game of both of them.
Yep.
But in terms of the actual TV ratings, that they would never achieve their ceiling, because like if it was me, yeah, if it was me, if I'd started watching one, I would continue to watch that live and then catch up on the other one.
Yeah.
Like, but obviously I can't be in like two places at once. So I think the fact that they are only getting that is a bit of a false number, and they could achieve better. But
Yeah.
like
I was thinking that, like, so
double-edged sword.
there's one. Let's just say there's 1.6 million people watching wrestling that night.
Yeah.
When it's a Monday and there's Raw, and on a Friday and SmackDown, there's no competition.
No. Apart from
So if there was, say, 2 shows on a Monday, would Raw get 1 million and the other one would get 1 million, because there's only so many wrestling fans out there.
Yep.
So if NXT or AEW was on Wednesday night on their own, would they get 1.5, 1.6 million? I don't think they'd maybe get, because I think
No, yeah,
there'll definitely be a lot of WWE loyalists out there.
oh yeah, but they'll still want to check out, see what's happening in the other, company.
Yeah, like as a, I think there would be people who would still like put it on, but not necessarily watch it. Like people like you who are obsessed about a dub without even.
There's one of us who is.
I love AEW.
Now, do you want to
I
know?
didn't
Mike,
say that. I just said you're obsessed.
my point in this was last week was in AEW was the big Jerry Gorse promo,
Yep.
right? So, what did Sammy Guerrero come out with? He came out with a cardboard cutout of him and Jericho.
Right.
Now, Jericho's got a lot of followers on Facebook, on Instagram, and I'll be honest, this cardboard cutout was shown up in every single meme, actual like event that's happened, sort of thing in the world, and I think it's just caught fire, and I think people have just got on that bandwagon and said Jericho's done something funny again. Let's see what he's going to do this time.
You know this. So I've got issues with this whole,
The sex gods.
yeah, because it's not fucking funny.
Some of it is.
Some of it is. So Jericho shared about 30 pictures of it.
And about 5 are funny.
Yeah, and it's like, and you know when the bubbly thing went viral, you saw it fucking
Yeah.
everywhere. Every man and his dog was sharing it.
You were
Everyone
sharing it every 5 minutes.
Wasn't what, 2 fucking right I was. But with this Le Sex Gods thing, it's only fucking being Jericho sharing it. It's literally the only place I've
Yeah.
seen it. So it's like, it's not funny, and it's in the putting it. So they're like hugging each other, smiling off into a distance, and then they're like, I saw one today where they were on the Montreal screw job. It's like, that's not funny.
No.
Like, because the context of that picture is they're cuddling and happy. No one was fucking happy during the Montreal screw job because everyone was confused as fuck, and then we're like, and then they were fuming. And this is my thing about Jericho. I've always said this about Jericho is
He plays things to death.
he tries too hard, and some things,
Bubbly.
yeah, the bubbly, the list, the stupid idiot, the it. There's so many things he's done that's fucking mint, but he's fucked up so many times. Like this Le Sex God, like the bubbly, amazing. Le Champion, that cracks me up.
It's
But-
still brilliant.
But now he's like Le Sex God. He's like, Howie, mate, like you're taking it a little bit too far now. Like simmer down.
yeah.
Like just ride the 2 things you've got. You see, that's funny. Like this Le Six Codes thing is just not funny, in my opinion. And I love Jericho.
Like I said, I think it's just a fad. I think this was a 1 week thing. I think next week NXT will do a lot better again, and AEW will drop off a touch.
I think they've hit like 800,000, give or take. I think is
Yeah. Like anywhere between 8.5 and 9 is probably their realistic peak, isn't it? Because I know when they started off, it was like I think AEW was like 1.1, which was like class.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it was always gonna fall from there. But if they've plateaued at like between 8.5 and 9, I think
you should be happy with that.
Happy with that, yeah.
And I think, do you think the AEW bubble's burst now? Now they're struggling to sell. Remember when they would put a show on, it sold out in minutes, and they were like, "Wait, we've sold out in minutes." Now they're struggling to sell tickets for Ohio. Do you think that bubbles burst a little bit?
Yeah.
It always was gonna, wasn't it?
Of course,
like,
it was. But I don't think it'll get to the point where I don't think it'll get to the point of WCW where they're having to give away free tickets. I still think they'll sell
because
tickets.
Tony Khan will just keep fucking pumping money in money, fucking money
until it becomes
until Vinnie Mac buys them and
Condoms.
shows up on Dynamite.
From the
Can't fucking wait. I don't want to see AEW go out of business. I want AEW to do well, but I would fucking love to see Vince
in an AEW ring.
Yeah, just for the banter, just to be like, I've
done it again.
Yeah, just for the fucking bants. Anyway, enough of AEW because
you love them.
Wins and losses matter. Remember,
I can see his shoulders chipping away and speaking about it.
I really do think that's what we should call our podcast at the moment, though.
What?
Wins and losses matter.
I do think
It's
we do
probably
need that.
It's probably the best
Chips or tits?
Either.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, this one I think might spark good discussion. Mr. Rollins, Becky's boyfriend,
Yeah.
Mr. Lynch, was on something. Was it backstage or something?
Yeah,
and he
backstage,
said his Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and he went with Hogan, Rock, Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, which, to be fair, is you can't really argue with that. So,
I mean,
my question to you, I'll go with you first, Andrew. What is your overall Mount Rushmore? Not the second part. Your overall.
so overall of all time.
Yep.
So, I'll go with one being Ron Simmons, first black
Good call.
champion.
Good call.
He's been excellent. Like he's like everything he's done as well. Like he's. It was never just the first champion because he was black. Like his class pretty underrated, but kind of historically, and yeah, I think he's next. Kurt Angle. I think just his the fact that he'd won gold in a real sport and was able to transition so well in WWE and make like outsiders watch it and the like appeal that he brought with it.
I love Kurt Angle. I mean,
Brilliant.
to be honest, he's one of the best in-ring performers of the last 20 years, easily.
Yep. Dusty Rhodes. I think everything that he's done in wrestling, WWF, WCW, and his legacy in Cody and Goldust. His legacy in NXT
Everything.
as well. Yeah, and then I think
You added an extra face on here.
my last one. No, I've only said 3.
You said 3. I thought you said 4.
No.
I apologise.
So I'm torn, but I think I'm gonna have to go for it's either Rock or Undertaker. And I think
Which one are you going to go with?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Undertaker.
Yep.
Good call.
I would go Undertaker over Rock. I think The Rock, as good as The Rock is, I think he's not overrated, but I think he's overrated in the grand scheme of wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
Austin changed wrestling.
Yeah.
Hogan changed wrestling. Flair changed wrestling. The Rock didn't. The Rock was in Austin's world, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Like
It was never Austin challenging The Rock. It was always The
Yeah.
Rock challenged Austin because Austin was the top of the hill.
Yeah.
and The Rock like excelled more outside of wrestling, and like again, like it's maybe a bit contradictory that like I said Kurt Angle's appeal was outside of wrestling as well, but equally maybe that's a double
Yeah.
dip. But in terms of what the Undertaker brought into wrestling, like not just the character that he was, but in terms of like what everyone says about him as well, like
And how long he stayed at the top.
yeah, and he's
And
still
if you watch the Survivor Series debut, kids are legit scared as fuck.
Yeah.
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 He came out pale as fuck.
Yeah.
He did look like a
And-
dead person.
And Undertaker has the best entrance.
Oh, without a doubt.
No one comes close.
No,
Other than Austin.
Not even Bray.
Oh,
Like,
no,
I mean like darkness wise,
what
Yeah.
about
Matt and Kirby.
Johnny Nitro?
like,
No.
For me, there's only two.
No comparisons.
There's only two wrestlers who've got.
Gilbert.
Oh yeah, like actually,
Sparklers.
to be fair, you could maybe throw Goldberg into this one. I'm going to say like Austin, like even though his entrance was just walking to the ring, but if,
That was everything that he
It was,
needed.
it was
Exactly.
the glass shattering.
yes,
and just him walking because he was just there to.
because like, you could be
Kick ass, wasn't
you
he?
could be sat there like we could be sat here now. Remember Mania 30? I think it was 30 when Hogan came out and the Austin came out and the Rock came out. And they done a thing. I
the
remember
fir-
watching
the
that
first thing,
live.
yeah.
We watched that live and we didn't know Austin was coming out. So we're like, yeah, whatever. And then as soon as that glass broke, we just fucking went mental.
We were in the Southfields, I think, at the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
We went mental.
In where?
The redacted.
Oh,
Name
yeah, the
redacted.
redacted pub.
So like, but the Undertaker's is just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Up
And
there
then
as well.
Goldberg's is the same, the walk from the back with the security guards, the fireworks, the breathing the smoke.
That annoys me. Why on earth does probably
The hardest
the roughest
bastard.
man in the company need security to walk in from his dressing room to the ring, to the gorilla
so it
position.
doesn't.
And then he can walk through fire almost. It's
Yeah,
like
by himself.
Yeah.
I'm scared in case no way Jose attacks me on the way to the ring,
Dun,
but when
dun.
it comes to
I think Jericho, he was always faithful at Jericho.
and
Yes.
Regal, oh, he's scared of Regal. That's why.
So Philip, what is your Mount Rushmore?
Morrison,
Miz.
Miz, Morrison, and all the rest of them. I'm going to
Chavo
be
Guerrero,
3 of mine are going to be generic responses because of
El Generico.
El Generico. Yes,
Okay.
Ole, ole.
because the more I thought about it,
Because you're
the reasons are because of these are the people I used to. These are the reasons why I watch wrestling. Right, so you have to start with the top, which is Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Because for me, he defined the generation where he brought colour to. I knew he would love that one. Take from that what you will. He did.
I wish you meant that, Phil.
He brought.
I do.
He brought the wrestling from the black and white.
He's
He
been
gets-
lining these up.
And he's just fucking smashing them out, isn't he? Have that. If we were in America, that would be a home run. Touchdown.
But
3 points.
for me,
He's on fire.
when I first started watching wrestling, the only person I wanted to watch was Hulk Hogan because he had the.
Come this when we're good.
Because you love
I'm
black
gonna let
people
you down
too.
because I'm gonna let you down now because he had. As soon as his theme music broke in,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter if you were 5, 6, 18 at the time. You just if you knew that music, you would like.
Eight.
shit's gonna go down.
I still listen to it in the car when I'm driving to work.
It's awesome.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. And like you start singing to yourself.
I
too.
am a massive racist gun.
It's a great version. DJ Andy with the remix.
But for me, he defined that era. He brought people who probably weren't who weren't aware of wrestling at the time.
White people.
Because
Do you know, I just realised Phil talks more about Johnny Nitro and Hulk Hogan. I don't know what that says about him.
I like old school wrestlers.
Racist wrestlers.
Is Johnny Nitro a wrestler?
No, he's class.
I was going to say, because I wouldn't like him if he was.
Do you like Hulk Hogan?
I don't know.
Just trying to get him in a bother.
Shh. Stop trying to get me in a bother.
Yeah, turn the mic
But
off.
Cut.
Yes, Hulk Hogan for me, he has to be there because he brought the millions and the millions to watch wrestling on TV.
Oh, that was Triple H.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was later on after the dip. They
After the what?
they brought back the millions.
Isn't that what's definitely got? Oh, sorry, the dip. Got.
Second one has to be Flair
Yep.
because of
But he's a bit of a dick as well, isn't he?
Whoever's listening to this podcast is going to think you're the biggest dickhead in the world for doing that.
I've just deafened you. I'm really
You
sorry.
deafened me.
Yeah.
All I see on the screen is white lines.
That's awesome.
From him puffing over Hogan.
Yeah, Flair.
Yep.
What he did. He came back from injury. He was pretty much paralyzed in that airplane accident.
Yep.
Came back. Made himself better.
Yep.
Did really well in WCW. When WCW wanted to give him the bollocks, what was it called? Not Hercules.
Hercules.
What gimmick did they give Ron Simmons?
It wasn't Farouk Assad.
No, it wasn't Farouk. It was close.
Farouk Assad with the silver helmet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 'cause they wanted to give him a helmet. They wanted to give him a helmet
Yeah.
as well.
Was he the Dominator or something?
No.
Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, they really wanted to give him a really bad gimmick.
A bad gimmick.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he was like, he said, "I'm going to the WWE." WWF back it was then.
No, he said, "Woo! I'm going to the WWE."
That's exactly what he said. And then he went, "And I'm taking my fucking belt with me as well." Which was groundbreaking at the time because end of the day, WWF had the WCW champion as
I
such.
don't think groundbreaking is the term that we should use when talking about Ric Flair.
That's true. Yes.
Chest chopping,
Yeah.
wheeling, dealing, son of a gun.
But absolutely fantastic. I mean, for me, his work rate and everything, it was stellar. Towards the end of the career, end of his career, he worked till he was he's still working now, and he's well into his late 70s, early 80s now. I've got him on Facebook. And Macca, my mate Macca as well.
I've got him on Facebook. That like the way you said that, it was like your pals on Facebook.
Macca, Flair.
I follow his fan page. That's what I mean.
I've got him on Facebook.
But
See, I've got one wrestler on Facebook.
and who was that?
Just incredible.
Benji.
But,
Just incredible.
But we are friends.
He's a bum though.
Yeah, exactly. Birds of a feather. Flock together.
Stick together. But yeah, I mean, so Hogan, Flair, goes without doubt. Austin,
Yeah.
yeah. We're not going to go into the same reasons because everyone knows
Yep.
this. And I'm going to go into my Survivor Series team lineup now. I'm going to say
Typhoon.
I am going to say Jericho.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of
Yeah.
all of the things.
He's on my list.
It's exactly
Yeah.
like what we just said.
It was on my short list, yeah.
We said these things prior to the podcast that there's things that he did when it wasn't noticed, but it's things that he did then that we all still talk about now. So that's the list.
Very similar to what The Undertaker, just longevity.
Yeah, end of the day, he's in my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
So the question goes to you, Liam.
My Mount Rushmore was Hogan, Flair, Austin.
And
I'm not
who
even,
else?
and I'm not even gonna talk about those three because We've
Yeah,
already
yeah,
discussed
I
them.
think-
Fourth one, Shawn Michaels. I just think Shawn Michaels is the best in ring.
Do you know how we know this? Because it's our tag on our WhatsApp group. It's a picture of
Shawn
Shawn
Michaels
Michaels.
with the bung eye. I just think he's the best. Like, best in ring. You know, he's had so many classics.
What, best in ring of all time?
Yep.
Don't agree with you, but okay.
Well, obviously you're not going to, because you're going to be like, it's probably Kenny Omega.
Oh.
And it's Nick Jackson from the Young Bucks. Oh, my skill.
Well, no.
Will Ospreay, because I wear suplex t-shirt.
I still
last
think,
time WCPIW.
I like Pac because I'm from Gatehead.
I still think Owen Hart's a better wrestler than Shawn Michaels.
No,
I'm sorry.
give over.
Suck my
Give over.
micro penis.
No, I can't remember Owen Hart. Maybe he had the match with Brett in the cage, which was considered a classic.
But would you say Brett brought that out on
I think
him?
that's what I was going to say. Sean, because, you know, me and Sean are pals.
Best mate.
So I can call him Sean.
Shazza.
He had the ladder match with Razor. Classic. Yeah, the Iron Man with
But
Brett
that
wasn't that good. He obviously had the two with Taker. Yeah, went an hour with Cena, which was mint.
Didn't see it.
You never seen that match? Have you seen legit though? Have you seen that match?
Yeah, it was a John's.
I know it was a John Cena joke, but I'm
Yeah,
saying legit. Have you seen that match?
Yeah, I have done. Yeah.
Yeah, that match. Yeah, that whole year-long feud with Jericho, which was amazing. That is his. So he goes off injured for years and years and years, and then comes back
Yeah.
and has a match with Triple H.
Which is better than.
Yeah, I get what you're going to say. But he comes back after 3, 4, 5 years and has an absolute classic
No,
with Triple
he's
H. Do you know what I mean?
he's
That's why I think he's the best.
Class. No, he's up there, and like
Yeah.
in terms of the elite, there's no doubting he's up there. But,
Best in ring.
but-
Even Stone Cold says so. And when Stone Cold says so. Anyway, next question.
That's the bottom.
Your Mount Rushmore from the WWF, WWE, WCW/NWA, ECW, and then anywhere else. So number one is you would probably class New York, Vince's promotion. Then the number two is the South, WCW, NWA, and all that. Number 3, ECW, because for me, I think ECW needs to be classed on its own because it was
No,
revolutionary.
it definitely was.
And then the fourth one could be anywhere else, you know,
WCPW.
Japan, WCPW. So your Mount Rushmore for that top 4, please.
So top 4, I reckon, in terms of WWF, Kurt Angle, based on what I said earlier. Like it could easily be the Undertaker, but yeah. WCW because like I was never that much into it personally. Like I think Dusty Rhodes is a possible candidate of what he'd done in there.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of direct influence, could be DDP, and the stuff that DDP's done since kind of leaving
Yeah,
wrestling,
absolutely.
like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
I'm tempted.
He saved lives.
Yeah, massively. Like yeah, I did think about him, even though, yeah, I guess Dusty was like everything, but in terms of kind of direct influence, when I think of WCW, the first person I think of is
Page.
DDP. No, Paige is a women's wrestler. I reckon. What? In terms of EC, I think everyone's will probably be the same. Rob Van Dam, RVD, and like just.
Yeah.
See, I'm
unbelievable.
different.
Oh, you would be you.
You would be. What?
I'll
Yeah,
wait
wait
to
his
my Mount
turn.
Rushmore.
And then, in terms of kind of other outside influences, he's one of the best in the world, I think. Will Ospreay.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go against the grain on that one. So,
So you're-
Because
my, obviously, WWE would be Austin.
Yep.
Has to be there. WCW, again, I thought Paige, again, for me, when I started watching WCW, I still love Nirvana, so I found an affinity with Paige when he came out with his really bad version of Smells
yeah.
Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I got over him because he was a
You did what? Sorry.
he was a
You got over him. Oi.
he was a likable wrestler, and he was
Well,
he was a bit gangly
Alec, I
and
know
all
one
that,
who I can get over. Never got into bed with a nuclear woman.
You haven't.
Woken up to quite a few.
Hey.
but again,
Comedy night's finished tonight.
yeah, Paige.
I'll just
I'd
write that-
say,
write
but
that down for next one.
Again, I'd go with Flair. I would.
Yeah.
WCW, I'd go with Flair.
Yeah.
ECW, for me, has to be Mick Foley.
In EC, I mean,
Yeah, he was there.
He was there.
Well, he was there, but
he was there.
I think more
It- it
Mick
wa-
Foley is
it-
WWE.
yeah.
But I get what you're saying, though.
But again, I'd look again when you think about WWE, you'd think Mick Foley, but he was in he was in ECW for a
He
while.
was in WCW for a long time, too.
Yeah, he was as Cactus Jack, but I wouldn't rate him over Page. But ECW,
yeah, because Paige has only been recently in WWE. Oh, we're talking Paige
no,
or draws here.
but I'm bringing out the librarian gimmick again.
Shittest gimmick ever. That is worse than Duke the Dumpster Dorsey, in my opinion.
Yeah, because that was class.
Yeah.
But
Took out the trash.
for me, ECW was always about Mick Foley because that's how I was introduced to Mick Foley before Mankind. Because I'd never saw Mick Foley as Cactus Jack in WCW. I had seen him as Cactus Jack in. Was it Cactus Jack? I'm sure it was Cactus Jack.
So I thought about one of my potential candidates was New Jack because of the
for the infamous.
because of the publicity
Yeah.
that he brought by
Yeah.
like
Just being a mad
fucking
bastard.
grade A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to hack your
Corey-
face.
But you can't.
Him,
You
Corey
cannot put him
Graves.
on.
Corey Gray. You dickhead.
I was going to say, if you were saying I was going to put fucking New Jack on my Mount Rushmore, fucking hell.
New Jack.
you could and then
Chisel over
chisel his face off because that would be very fitting. Yes.
him. Rest of the world has to be Will Ospreay, but I prefer Martin Kirby. You don't know him because you're not an indie fan. If you saw him, you'd understand.
When I
the,
throw out
you'd understand the
my
logic.
rest of the world pick, you're going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, I should have said him.
Okay. We'll wait then.
Yeah, we will wait. Yeah.
Because it is your turn.
Is it my turn? So
'Cause
my
I just love Martin Kirby and
my
you know, he's
WWE
awesome.
pick is Austin.
Yeah,
I know, like, you can argue Hogan, but Austin is Austin. He's bigger than Hogan, in my opinion.
And he's not a
In a
racist cunt.
Yeah. I might keep calm. My WCW/NWA option is Ric Flair,
Yeah, sound.
just because of Ric Flair. My ECW is
But
Rob
he's
Van
also a
Dam.
massive.
RVD again.
Organizer,
RVD. RVD was just class. Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View. Very, very. I think a lot of these wrestlers we see these days, I don't think we would have them without RVD. because-
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And then my rest of the world pick is Terry Funk,
Good call.
because
He's been in.
I know
everything.
he's been in WWE, I know he's been in WCW, he's been in NWA, but
Yeah, but
he's really known for a big chunk of his Japan stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think on the bit, he's still fucking wrestles today, probably.
No, he's
you know what I mean?
retired 30 times over. Now.
Yeah, exactly. I just think
I think his first retirement match was back in 1979.
yeah.
so I thought as my kind of potential outsider in terms of rest of the world, as in someone who's great in WWE now, but was far better outside it. I think I nearly went for AJ.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. I knew through AJ Styles,
Yeah.
but I went with Terry Funk just because, you know, he had all those feuds with Flair, Dusty, and then he done all this shit. You know, there's death matches even though I'm not a fan of the death match, but
Will Ospreay and
anyway.
Yeah.
So there's our 2 Mount Rushmores each.
Phil's
Next-
is clearly mine is clearly the best.
Oh, obviously, mate.
Yeah, let's-
Always is.
Fuck you,
Always
too.
is.
Let's vote again and see what happens.
Next up, various wrestlers have registered trademarks. So Andrade has trademarked El Idolo, however you pronounce that, and La Sombra.
Yeah, so at the start of his promo, whatever this say that he's trademarked that, and he's trademarked his old CMLL
Yeah.
name, which is unusual, but it might, like, I think with, well, he was getting a massive push, but then I've seen recently on house shows that he was losing, like,
I
really
don't.
weak matches.
I don't think this. It's obviously Charlotte. Just to throw on, Charlotte Flair has trademarked her real name, Ashley Flair, and
Yes,
the
but
Queen of Wrestling.
Why have them two who are a partnership?
Do you know what? Do you know what I think it is? I just think it's just being clever.
Yeah, I think it's
Charlotte Flair is
Possibly.
going nowhere. She's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
leaving.
Yeah, because she's shit.
Yeah, she's
And
shit.
She's going
Nah,
nowhere
she's
because
class. But
Iranu.
if Charlotte even said to WWE, right, say like she's earning $1 million a year, just for ease of numbers, and she's like, look, I'm leaving, I'm gonna go. WWE would be like 2 mil, 3 mil.
without even.
She's
thinking about
going nowhere. So I think this is just more of a case of this is
it.
available.
It's ammo.
Like,
you know,
why
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
you're probably right. I mean, if she's got a contract renewal coming up, if they've got this in their back pocket,
she's basically saying, you know, I'm possibly thinking about going in the independents or AEW, and I'm taking that name with me. I've already trademarked
Thing
it.
is, though,
You've got nothing against
Thing
me
is,
for that.
so they've trademarked non WWE trade like names, or so it's not like Charlotte Flair suddenly come up available and they've got that as leverage. This is just, I just think it's just clever business. I don't think it. I think they're covering their ass, if anything. I don't think they're like, right, we're leaving, so we're going to hard trademarks, because I'm sure other wrestlers own trademarks.
I think it's. I think it's that they're using it as a leverage.
Maybe
to
it's
get
for later
more
on.
money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
because then like the next point is obviously Luke Harper has trademarked Brody Lee,
Yeah.
but again,
See, this
yeah,
makes sense
that's a
because
no-brainer.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he never wrestled as Brody Lee in WWE, so
No.
why the fuck would WWE trademark that name? Like they'd have no rights to.
Do you know what I
No,
think
but-
it could be is if he asked for his release and they were going to say, oh yeah, you can have your release, but just in between us deciding about that, we by the way we've trade like Broadly.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm not no expert in copyright law, but how can WWE trademark something that they've never used before? Do you know what I mean? Like Luke Harper could go, you know what,
No,
this was my indie name.
They could still put the application in. I
Yeah,
mean,
they could still put it in, but it won't get granted because it's like, why are you copyrighting something that's got nothing to do with you? Then Luke Harper could copyright at the same time, and they'll go, well, yeah, but you've got history with this name, so therefore you're going to get the copyright. So I just,
But WWE throw more money at them and say, shh.
yeah. So I don't know. I just think for
But-
me, it's one of those things where I think people have just got a bit too excited.
People know,
over.
but like now that Luke Harper's done that while he's in WWE, people know if they want to see Luke Harper after he's left, they know what to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, looking out for Brody Lee.
But again, if you unless you're a wrestling fan, you're not going to like. I didn't know he'd applied for that trademark until you told me.
Yeah, but think of all the millions and millions who listen to this podcast
Oh yeah,
who now know.
Now everyone
Yeah.
knows.
yeah. So
Luke Harper, you owe us all a
I
pint.
just think it's
Of Brody
I think
Lee,
it's
sorry,
smart
you
business.
all
I think Harper doing his is definitely a sign of him when he is ready to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's
without
obviously
doubt.
off. I think the other two are just, I just think they're being smart.
Yeah.
Because I reckon Randy Orton's probably got copyrights.
Oh, you'll have copyright everything.
Yeah.
Slither, Snake,
Yeah.
Worm,
Well,
everything.
maybe Ann Summers might have some of the trademarks.
Maybe.
Maybe.
The Viper.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
So our boy, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury,
Phil.
Phil, yeah, was on the True Geordie podcast recently.
Why I?
He made a comment that he would flatten Brock Lesnar in 30 seconds, whether it be a real fight or a wrestling match. And would we want to see that match?
No.
No. Do you want to know why? Because
Well, there's two questions to this for me.
Because
So,
New Day Rock.
would you want to, as a wrestling match, as a professional wrestling match? No, you wouldn't want to see
Yeah.
it because Tyson Fury's dog shit.
Yep.
But as a legit stand up and punch fight,
I'd love to see it.
I would.
It's a Jippo against a genuine
Against
MMA fighter.
Tyson Fury.
Bastard.
And I'll be honest. New Age travellers, whatever they want to be called these
Gypsies.
days, Jippos. They're
That's what I
all,
call them.
yeah.
That's what we all call
You
them.
know, You look at anything, and if they've got any sort of like beef with each other, you know, they'll just
Just
have a,
scrap it out.
they'll just have a brawl, and then they'll shake hands
Them
at the end of
mad
it.
bastards.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
hard as fuck.
But that's the thing, and if say if me and Emma were Jippos, yeah, and we sired a son, you know, end of the day, as soon as he was, you know, 5 or 6, we'd be taking him boxing lessons, be saying like, you know, and that's what they do. They teach them how to box to, you know, to defend themselves for the family and all that. That's how it works.
I used to go to the gym at a boxing gym at Natural Progression around the corner, and I remember being in the change room one day and
Is that Imran's?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
two
know.
Jippos walked in. You know, you could tell because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
they had the accent and
Yeah.
all that. I fucking shit myself because I legit thought
Nice guys, they really
Oh,
are.
it's
Absolutely stellar lads.
amazing lads. And every gypsy I've come across have always been sound.
They've always been good lads.
But
If they've got any beef,
Yeah.
they'll have a
but I just
words.
knew at any second they'd fucking rip me apart.
Oh,
So part again. So we wouldn't want to see Tyson Fury and Brock Lesnar as a wrestling match,
no.
but as a stand-up fight,
Yes.
fists and fists.
But
I would like to see it.
I wouldn't like to see it as well. Because chances are by that point, Tyson Fury will still be undefeated in the boxing ring. Now,
I think he'd beat Brock Lesnar in a fight, a legit boxing fight. MMA, no. Boxing, yes.
Oh, in a bare knuckle fight, yeah. No, without a doubt, yeah. But this is the WWE we're talking about. Why on earth would they want to put Tyson Fury, who was a nobody, over
In the wrestling world.
in the wrestling world over? They wouldn't.
No, you're right.
But they need. But then if like word got from the boxing world that Tyson Fury just lost a bare knuckle fight with Brock Lesnar, they'll be going,
Yeah.
and he's our best he's our best heavyweight in the world. It's a no-win situation.
Do you
for
think
me.
he is the best heavyweight boxer in the world?
Personally, yep, without a doubt.
I do too.
Without a doubt.
I do. I really, really hope that in the next year or two, while they're still in the prime, I do hope we get Tyson Fury versus AJ, and I hope, personally, I hope that AJ gets beat off Ruiz Jr. Then I hope AJ gets beat off Wilder, and then I hope Tyson Fury just fucking smashes his face in. Like, I legit really, really want to see Tyson Fury smash fuck out of AJ.
I honestly think. I mean, I mean, as much as I love wrestling, I'm a boxing fan at about the same level. Now, that's half a pint, Andrew.
Do you want to flake with that?
Sorry.
You fucking cunt, what?
As I was saying, I'm a
You
boxing
are.
fan as well as I'm a wrestling fan, and for me, Tyson Fury is the best in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
I do think Wilder's at this moment in time second. I do think AJ's probably third. I think.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, no.
I mean, if
You wait
if
till
look-
Saturday
if,
night.
If you look at the rankings, yeah, right, you know. Right,
Ruiz Jr. is
it's
going to
different.
teach AJ a lesson on Saturday night.
I don't think so.
I think you will.
5 a bet between us.
Yep.
Right.
What?
Done.
AJ win.
AJ to win anything. Just AJ to win. You
And
you
Ruiz
Ruiz, yeah.
to win.
Just any. It doesn't matter what it is between us.
Do you want to give me your fucking money now?
No. But do you want to give me yours?
AJ is not winning that fight. Right. I'm telling you, right. If AJ does win that fight,
It'll be over 12 rounds.
right.
He'll stay at distance and box.
I don't think he can box.
He can.
No, I don't think he can. But if he wins it by decision, it's not going to be one where we all wake up on Sunday morning and go,
Oh, it won't be memorable at all.
no. I don't think it's going to be memorable.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like, we're going to wake up on Sunday morning and go, Ruiz Jr. should have won that.
Yeah, he should have.
I don't think it's, if he goes to points, it's not going to be clear. Like, AJ's not going to win it by like a handful of rounds. It's going to be like,
Quite close. Like,
I don't. I know.
No,
I don't even
no.
think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a fucking robbery. I think the judges will shit it.
Yep, I think so.
Because it's a corrupt as fuck sport.
Do you think it's going to be like German point systems?
Where it's bent as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
Paul Smith went against Arthur Abraham.
Mate, I don't follow boxing.
I
I don't give a fuck.
The worst thing is, right, it should have been a draw because the 1-1 lost one each, and then they boxed each other's heads off, right? And then when the points when the points came over, it was like unanimous decision, and it was like 120 to 109 every single person, and they were like, "What the fuck have they just
Yeah.
watched?"
Yeah, that's honestly, if it goes to points and AJ wins, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement.
Because if you look at who's organised the fight,
Yep.
who's promoting the fight, who's the biggest twat in boxing, Eddie Hearn. Is it Eddie Hearn?
Yeah.
He's a cunt. AJ is like,
Have you seen his
he's a
his alter
cockney.
ego at the moment, where he just comes across as being an asshole?
That's his normal
Well, yeah.
personality. Yeah,
it's
but-
not wrestling. He's
Yeah.
not been a heel.
Yeah.
He's just a dick.
Yeah, I think for this to be a clear cut, who deserves to win wins, has to be a Ruiz stoppage or knockout. Because if it goes to points, they're going to give it away, Jay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Because
I'm still saying Ruiz Jr.
commercially,
Yeah,
AJ will sell more.
yeah. Because if you look at it
Yeah.
commercially, AJ is that he's a fucking chiseled god.
He's the poster child, yeah,
Yeah.
boxing.
Ruiz Jr. is some chubby Mexican guy who just boxes. But he's like Tyson Fury.
Do you know
he's
what I'd
a
love to
proper
see?
boxer.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I would love to
absolutely.
see? If Ruiz Jr. came out on Saturday night with his bands just said Greg's.
Yeah, but that's what I love
Smash it
about
past
boxing is like you get Tyson Fury, who's not ripped. He's got a bit of a dad bod. Ruiz Jr. has a full-on dad bod, but yet they're just
He's got a
fantastic
mom bod.
boxers. Yeah,
The fucking tits on him.
Anthony Joshua comes out looking like an absolute rip to shreds.
Adonis.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not the best boxer, but that's just me. I'm not a boxing fan. That's just me. What I
So-
see on Sky.
That's our bet. So we'll see what the result is
Fiver.
next week.
Aye.
I would like to. Can we have that same bet?
You can go £2.50 each if you want.
No, no.
Oh,
no,
fuck
I won't
that.
do that.
I can't afford a tenant between you.
Nah.
Remember, I'm poor.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
next one.
the final bullet point is the most exciting wrestler in the history of wrestling, Lance Storm, has now started with the WWE as a producer. His first Raw was the 2nd of December episode of Raw. So he's closed his wrestling school and now he's a full-time producer.
Has he actually closed
Yeah,
it
he's
now?
Yeah,
closed it because he's a
yeah.
full-time producer with the WWE now. I'm assuming he's staying with Raw because he started on Raw, but I don't know whether they're going to put him on SmackDown as well to, get back into the swing of things.
What if he's full time? No, I reckon they'd tend to keep the teams separate, like in terms of like just keeping things.
What, you mean like the north-south
Fresher.
divide?
But I just don't know I don't know whether they're keeping him on Raw or SmackDown or both for now.
Yeah, I
just
think
to
it'll be
get his-
Raw only, but obviously unconfirmed. But because I haven't got the friends that our podcast colleague Phil does. Would you like to
What?
speak to
Nakamura
Nakamura
and Johnny Morrison.
Johnny Mundo.
or whoever you are friends with on Facebook?
Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it's
All my mates on Facebook.
do you think it's a good get for WWE?
I think so. Like in terms of people who get wrestling, I think he does get wrestling. I think the fact that he was a bit boring was overplayed, and he done that gimmick
Intentionally.
really well. Like if I could be serious for just a minute, like it was so good. Like it was basic, but it was so good. I thought,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a strong wrestler. He was a great tag team. He was part of the Impact plays with everyone's favourite smackhead. Just incredible.
Do you know who else he was a tag team partner of?
Jericho,
Just
As
Jericho,
what?
The Thrill Seekers.
Thrill Seekers.
yeah,
He had his little mullet.
Shaggers,
little rat tail.
Smoky Mountain.
Yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure I covered this on episode 1, I think, or episode 2, where they did the vignettes in Smoky Mountain, where Lance Storm at 9 o'clock at night was in bed, and Jericho was like saying, "Oh, let's go out and party," and like Lance Storm was like going, "Nah, I'm okay." See, I mean, again, he's just played that character brilliantly.
yeah, I think so. I mean, like he probably is a bit boring, and that's why they've gone, Lance, you're boring as fuck. Play boring as fuck.
He doesn't
character,
come
but-
across boring, you know, when you listen to him on podcasts.
No.
Yeah, he's a little bit like, his voice is a bit monotone and
Yeah,
stuff like
which
that.
is probably all it
Yeah.
takes, isn't
But
it?
he's not boring, like, he's quite funny.
Yeah.
That's still open.
No.
Well, yeah, at least I'd have to close the gates.
Sorry. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, ma'am.
Will be. So, yeah, good get.
Hopefully, I mean, like,
Time will tell.
if
You
it,
know, we
if
all.
it freshens things up, it has been getting better recently. I think. I'm not
Well,
saying
Heyman's
that's
in
down
charge.
to Storm. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not Heyman,
Yeah.
but
I was going to say, we all thought that Eric Bischoff would be brilliant, but look what happened there. So,
I don't think I ever said that. Bad.
I think Bischoff was set up to fail.
Yeah,
I don't think
they give him a SmackDown, and
he wasn't there long
and
enough.
gave him the SmackDown.
He wasn't there long enough to really do anything, and I don't think. I don't know, but yeah, I think he was set up to fail.
bastards.
So, boys, that's the previous week in wrestling. Unless you've got something else to add,
Andrew,
No, thank you. No, it's 1 o'clock. Thanks.
it's
1:00.
This is absolute dedication.
1:00.
This is the hard-working graft that we go to appease your ears.
The 10 people who listen to this podcast.
we do
You're a
love
very
you for
important
this, by the
template.
way. Please subscribe.
Yeah, and maybe next year we'll have a Patreon.
please send us enough.
Next
Well,
year.
actually, just please send me enough for a pint, and then I can keep doing this.
Yeah, can you imagine what we can put in our Patreon? For £2 a month, you can get a topless picture of Andy with his cats.
I can think of 2 people who buy that. I mean,
There we go.
For £3, you can get
Yeah.
Phil a pint.
Yeah, you might get a pint.
Weatherspoon's not in here.
Oh yeah, definitely got a pint here. You need 350 for a shit pint in here.
350.
350. So we clocking out, boys.
Yes.
We tapping out.
Good night, everybody.